a body like a goddess, and she talks so sweet. It's like I can't believe I'm the one that she wanted. And if I'm really being honest, I know I could be everything she needs if she let me get on it. Yeah. So come here, baby, listen close, hold me tight, don't let me go. Girl, you know that I'ma want you all my life, but I got so much left to do, except for falling in love with you. So I'ma let you keep me up another time, but please don't stay the night. Don't try to change my mind, baby, please don't stay the night. I must do what's right, don't make me ask you twice. Oh, don't stay the night. Don't try to turn it to a fight. You know I love you by my side, just don't stay the night. I must do what's right, I'm done being polite. Oh, don't stay the night.
Hello fellow Minecrafters, it's me, John. Hope you enjoyed the intro of the video. It was the most amount of effort I put into an intro. Anyway, I came back with another design for another tree farm. You see, years back when I first played 1.16, I really liked the new wood types, and getting a lot of them was my goal. At the time I made this first design, but years have passed and my standards have increased, so redesigning it is needed, at least for my sake. Originally, the problem was at first that they were way more destructive than Java fungus trees. They destroy almost any redstone component except observers, dispensers, and droppers. So originally you had to distance the pistons with honey and slime, which increased the area of the farm and the amount of materials required. Furthermore, we did not have any 100% drop rate in Bedrock at the time. Zoya XP made an incredible invention, the gas blast chamber, using gas fireballs to destroy blocks. The major downside is that gas are hard to get and the chambers are big for little gain, at least for the tree types design. As of the 1.21 update, there have been major updates to fungus trees and TNT. TNT has 100% drop rates, and fungus trees act more like Javas, where unless they're an air block, it won't override it with a wart or log block. With this, we can now make stupidly compact designs like the one behind me. For the rest of the video, I want to detour to a new way of showing my farms. I want people to get out of this video with a good understanding on how designing a farm is a battle of creativity and efficiency. First off is that this design only goes for the wood, not the rest like wart or shroomlets. In the near future, I might make a design to harvest them, but that was not the build I was going for. Now, one huge thing is that this farm is directional, and you will soon see why. To start, we need a piston array at the northwest corner. Thanks to recent updates, we can get a singular piston wall to push the wood. Now what we need is the most important thing. It is the detection system. Over the years, there were many detection systems. Let's go to them one by one, their pros and cons, and see which one is the best. First one is the observer-based detection systems, popular on very simple Java oak tree farms and early designs to Bedrock Nether tree farms. The pros are that it's simple and can be fast, emphasis on can. The con is that it can be very easy to make an unintentional clock out of it, and does require a buffer if the cycles are too fast, which can reduce the speed of the farm. Next is the redstone-based detection system, where it uses the blocks from the tree to detect if the tree is there. This system is used very rarely. The only instance I saw this is from Zolson012's design of a dark oak tree farm. It can be fast and reliable, but can be hard to implement inside of a design. Next is the daylight sensor detection system. It uses light level to detect whether a tree has grown. This can be fast and reliable for overall trees, but hard to implement in nether trees, with also the restriction and location as it requires an open view of the sky. Next is the hopper detection system. It detects the usage of bone meal, and when the hopper is filled up again, it detects that a sapling has turned into a tree. It can activate the pushing mechanism. I've only seen this in Ilmago's design of a fungus farm array. The pro is that it can be compact design really well, and for large arrays like Ilmago's, having a detection system for every block can be a pain. The con is that it can be slow and requires a lot of bone meal in this system to work properly. The final one is the dispenser comparative detection system, the most common system for many bedrock tree designs. It can be fast and reliable and does not need any added circuits to run properly. With this in mind, this will be used. Then I added the clock to run this farm. Since there is only one dispenser dispensing bone meal into the tree farm, we are going to use a 4-game tick clock to get the fastest bone meal dispensing out of it. There we go, now it is activated. Okay, then let's wire this detection system to the main piston array. Now encase it to remove the excess wart blocks that will be growing. Next is the blast chamber. Now I spent a lot of time trying to find an optimal blast chamber. You see in Bedrock Edition there is zero ticking, but unlike in Java, the blocks don't drop, as you can see in this example. With this in mind, if we were to go and use a standard explosion chamber in public tree farms, we can lose a lot of blocks. So we have to A. Prevent the unfortunate timing, B. Make the farm go fast, and C. Throttling the farm at intervals. This drastically reduces the farm's speed, but can be mitigated if we increase the intervals between TNT blasts. So I use references of very efficient blast chambers in Java Edition to make this. Of course, we have to stop the tree farm at a certain point, which is what this chopper clock is for. After this, we need to figure out how to drop the TNT. Now here's the most important thing. Since the TNT is far away from the wood, the TNT needs to be precise every time, which means it drops exactly the same every time. Dispensers when igniting TNT give it a slight bit of momentum in a random direction. When free falling, it is not too bad, but when going through a medium like honey or powdered snow, the small upward momentum can magnify and become inconsistent. Fortunately, there is a solution. Thanks to El Mango's concept of a honey-based world eater, using honey blocks to nullify the TNT's random momentum, the same concept can be applied in Bedrock. And what you can get is TNT falling with extreme accuracy. Instead of using multiple dispensers, we use a singular dispenser at Y63. When standing on it to reduce the amount of hoppers used. Now, if you were paying attention, you would see that the TNT is now firing properly to the direction you want. So either put the dispenser to the correct orientation on the west side, or move the whole farm to the correct orientation. Now we add the circuitry to make this function. Now we connect it to the main farm. Then we add the block switchers. Then the switch for the fungus to be dispensed to refuel our hotbar. Using a composter, we can stop the fungus from being dispensed out of the dropper. Of course, we need to add the circuit to push the blocks into the blast chamber. Then the detection system for when it turns into netherrack. Then finally the bone meal storage to fuel this farm. With this, the farm is almost done. Now, testing this farm for 4 hours for each tree, it produces over 2,200 trees, about 19,800 logs for crimson and over 20,000 logs for wart trees. Now this farm is quite a hungry one, as it requires 5,650 bone meal roughly to sustain its hourly usage. This farm only uses over 230 TNT per hour, almost 4 stacks of TNT used per hour, which is quite a good amount of TNT usage per hour. With 20,000 logs produced every hour, you get an efficiency over 90 blocks per TNT, which if you were to compare it to an average of 200 blocks for a given amount of TNT, you would get a 44% efficiency if you were comparing it to Java. You may be wondering that a chest and the droppers could only hold about 5,700 with this. We will only have enough for an hour of runtime. You would be right if this took bone meal directly. Instead, I made this farm take bone blocks as an input and use crafters to turn it back into bone meal. With this, the farm can last from 1 hour to nearly 7 hours, which is more than enough for most people. We just now need to hook up a dropper clock to the crafters. Strats. Unfortunately, you can't just have a crafter being pulsed continuously. It's not like a dropper. Eventually, it will spit out the crafted items to its item form rather than putting it into container. With this, we need to stop the crafter from being pulsed continuously when a sufficient amount of bone meal is already in the system. You can prevent this by just having a comparator reading the chest and subtract bone, then having a comparator reading a furnace and putting out an output to this. Then when the chest is full enough, the comparator locks the crafter and can no longer be pulsed. Now we need a collection system. I just used hoppers and honey. Then we need to add a floor design for the chunk. I just went for a cool sword design. Finally, we have the tree farm done and fully functioning. With this done, it is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed this in-depth view of my farm, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye.